Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Rideau Knits knitting podcast. My name is Cassie, and I am the maker behind Rideau Knits. I am coming to you from a very sunny but frigid Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. All right, I'm recording a little bit later in the week than I would like. I had been normally recording on Thursdays to get the podcast up on Friday, but this past week was insane, so I'm recording. Today is Sunday. I'm hoping to have it up maybe today, but definitely on Monday. It was my last week at work. It's the end of the semester, so it was pretty crazy getting kids culminating tasks done, collecting any missing work, and getting marking done, because I am a high school teacher. And I'm about to be off on maternity leave as I am in my 9th month of pregnancy. So welcome to my little corner of the internet where I share what projects and things I'm working on and just a little bit about all the fun things I'm making. Let's get started with what is on my hanger. I am too warm to be wearing anything wool lately. Also, being 9 months pregnant, it doesn't help that nothing fits, or very few things fit, and if they do, they're pretty warm. But what I have on my hanger is one of the first sweaters I ever knit for myself, which is pretty ambitious because the yoke is lace. So this is the Zweig sweater by Caitlin Hunter of Boylan Knitworks. And this is what the color work or the yoke looks like. And it is just a fingering weight sweater. I did 3/4 / elbow length sleeves. And like I said, one of the very first sweaters I ever knit. So the body is knit in Sandnes Garn Sisu, and I probably have some ball here. So this is what it looks like. And it is an 80% wool, 20% nylon blend. And it is Norwegian. Yeah, so it's made in Norway, and I don't know which one of these is the Colourway and which is the lot number. It's probably 1088 is the Colourway. And so that makes up the body of this sweater. I really like the yarn. I like how it's held up. I've worn it to work quite a few times, and it's soft, but it's not super soft. And it hasn't really pilled at all, except maybe a little bit in the underarms, but that's not a big deal and kind of to be expected where they rub together. And then the yoke is done in Hello Stella. I'm pretty sure it's her basic Stella base. And the colorway is Don't Go Breaking My Heart. So if you watched the episode last week, I knit a little pair of newborn socks for my baby that's coming up, and this is the same colorway. So I used the leftovers to knit those newborn socks. And I love the colors. My husband actually got the skein of yarn for me for Valentine's Day. I guess it must have been 3 years ago now, I think. And I don't think she dyes this color anymore. So I love this sweater, but being that it was one of the first sweaters I ever knit, it's the first top-down sweater I've ever knit, I did not understand how to do the short rows. So if you look, or I just didn't read the instructions very well, I didn't put markers where I should have. As you can see, over here is much wider than on this side. So I actually did my short rows totally crooked. If I turned my sweater, then my short rows would actually be the right way, and the back would be deeper than the front. I also think that I only did short rows on 1/4 of the circumference of the top of the sweater, instead of doing it all the way across half of the sweater. I had no idea what was happening. So I just did what I thought. And then when I realized I was like halfway down the body and I said, oh well, I'm not ripping back and fixing it. So it does like ride up a little bit on the one side, but it's not that big a deal, and it's still wearable and no one would notice. No one notices. So I do like it. I like wearing it. And yeah, that's gonna hang out back here for today. I'm pretty sure I knit it out of with the called for needles, and the original pattern has little cross stitches on the body that I omitted because I just didn't like how they looked, so I didn't do them. All right, so this week is a special week. I have 2 finished objects. It's very exciting. Because work was so busy, I had some time. To knit in the evenings, and I was just so tired that I couldn't function. And I needed something to clear my mind at the start of the day before diving into working like crazy. So I finished the socks I was knitting for my dad. And I had finished one that you guys saw last week and still are not woven in because I batch do ends when I feel like it. So I still count them as done. So I finished one, and I was at this marker from Twill and Print on the other. It is a little glittery black sheep. Let's see if we can get it to focus there. The lobster clasp broke on it, so I just put it on a light bulb stitch marker. So I knit all the way down, did the heel turn, heel flap, heel turn, and knit the whole foot. So now I have 2 finished socks, which is exciting. My dad is very excited to be getting them, so I just have to sit down, weave ends in, and then I can give them to him the next time I see him. And he's gonna wear them all the time, which is great because I love knitting for people who are actually going to wear the things that I knit them. So the yarn that I used for this is Premier Wool-Free Sock, which I got off of Amazon. And it is in the Oceanic colorway. I don't know where the labels went. I was using tiny scrap amounts and I lost the labels for them, but I did link them, and I'll link them in the description box below along with everything else that I talk about. And they have been living in this beautiful bag from Camp Yukon. And here is her tag. I love this bag. It's the perfect size for sock projects. And I was knitting them on, so they are just a vanilla sock, knit on a 2.5 millimeter needle. I've been using these DPNs. Let's see if we can focus that. These are wood, I think they're the rainbow wood DPNs from Knit Picks. And I really like them. I have the whole sock set. So it goes from a US 0 to a US 2 or 3. And I used the 2.25 and the 2.5 only. I did snap one of them because they're so small. I think I sat on it and snapped it. So instead of using 5 needles for some socks, I have to use only 4, which is fine. And the socks are 64 stitches with a 1x1 rib on the cuff here. So it's a 1x1 rib on the cuff. And then I just did a simple slip stitch, heel flap and gusset. That's my favorite fit. I hate knitting heel flap and gusset, but I find that it fits the best. All the socks that I have that have an afterthought or short row heel always flip upside down, so the heel ends up on the top of my foot. And so as much as I hate knitting a heel flap and gusset, I find that they fit better, so I keep doing that. Does anyone else do that? Or I started doing it because I was lazy. Or I started doing a short row heel because I was lazy and I didn't want to do the heel flap. Also at the beginning it really confused me how I was supposed to be picking up stitches. My sock looked all wonky, so I just did the short row heel, or an afterthought heel, and I just could not get it to work so that it stays on my foot properly. Every time I wear the other socks that I have, they're always upside down, always. But oh well, I still wear them and just keep flipping them back. So then my other finished object for this week, which is very exciting, is my Stardust sweater. It has not been blocked, so it looks a little wonky. And the ends are not woven in, but I wanted to show it on the podcast before I blocked it so that I could actually show it. So this is my Stardust sweater. This is a pattern by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Yarns. And I just love this bobble lace section in the middle. So last time when I showed this, I was down here at this marker. I just had to finish off the body, do the twisted rib for the cuff. It's rolling up a little bit, but that's okay. And then in 2 days, really it was all more like 24 hours, I did both of the sleeves. So one sleeve and the other sleeve, and the markers are still in there because I just finished them yesterday and I didn't want to do anything else with it. So on the cuffs I did, and the hem, I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, which I'm hoping will block, when I block it, will look a little bit nicer, but if it doesn't, that's okay with me too. So what I did with the sleeves is when I was knitting, I put a marker at every decrease so that my sleeves would be the exact same, because I have before messed up my row counting and my sleeves were not identical. So that's why I have all of these markers. So those are gonna come off. The things I really like about this sweater, it's got the short row shaping in the back of the neck. Right now it's curling, but the back of the neck will come up higher than the front, so it fits better on the neck. And then at the bottom as well, it has some short row shaping so that the back, and it's rolling a bit, so that the back of the hem actually hangs a little bit lower down on your butt than in the front, which is something that I really like, because I find that my sweaters always ride up in the back. So it's probably something that I'll do, make a modification I'll make to other sweaters that I want to make for myself. So yeah, I love it. It was an absolute joy to knit. I loved the detailed section in the center, and I just kept wanting to get to the next one. So I found it went really, really quickly. I knit this in a month, maybe. I got the yarn at Christmas. I don't remember what date exactly I cast on. I might have put it in my project page on Ravelry. And yeah, I just loved knitting it. I will probably make another one. If they like it, my mom and my sister can put in a request for one for themselves. And the yarn I used, which I don't have a ball of because I put it away, is Patton's Classic Wool in the DK Superwash, and it is, it was in the Mocha colorway. That's what it is. I'm looking at my notes here. And that's what I have for finished objects this week. Yeah, let me double check. Yes, that's it. So then I have 3 works in progress. 2 are brand new, and one is one that I was working on last week. I say brand new, I mean I took them out of hibernation to continue working on them. So first one is these socks that I am knitting for my mom. And this is how far I am right now. My family does not like super long cuffs on socks or legs, which is great because that means a little less knitting for me. All right, once I get this all untangled. So this is a basic vanilla sock. This is what it looks like so far. I don't think I had cast it on last week. I think I showed the yarn, but I hadn't cast it on yet. So this is a 64 stitch vanilla sock knit on a 2.25 millimeter needle. And I'm doing it magic loop. The cuff is the Sandnes Garn Sisu. It's the leftovers that I have from knitting my Zweig sweater. And the yellow with these gorgeous speckles is Hello Stella. So this is the cake that I have. So this is also from Hello Stella, and it was from her prismatic collection that she released. So this is her logo. Her labels have changed. She did a little rebrand. And she is a Canadian dyer in Hamilton, Ontario. And this is her basic Stella base. It is an 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon fingering weight. And it is in the Heliodor colorway. So I did buy the entire prismatic collection. So I'm going to be knitting, I think I'm going to knit socks with all of the colors for me and my family. Because these socks, my mom has smaller feet than I do, won't take up, it'll probably only take up 30 grams out of the 100. So I'll be able to knit a pair of socks for myself as well. And the only thing I've changed on these, so I'm doing a slip stitch. I did a slip stitch heel flap, but what I did is on the edges, instead of it being just a slip stitch, I did a garter panel on both sides to make it a little more interesting, change it up from just a basic sock. So slip stitches in the middle and the little garter edge. I've seen someone do that. I think Amanda of Birch and Lily does that sometimes. And so I was a little bit inspired. But these should whip by pretty quick. Now that I'm going to be at home, I'll have some TV knitting in these. My second work in progress is one that's coming out of hibernation. And it is my Forager sweater by Melody Hoffman. Let's see if I have the pattern. So the Forager is a top-down raglan that is designed to be knit in unspun yarn. So I think she used Nutidin or Plutolopi, an unspun, she uses Plutolopi and silk mohair held together. And it's designed to be knit with that. And I got in a storage unit clear out that my husband's uncle was helping with. I got several plates of unspun pencil roving yarn of some kind. There was no tag on it. There was no label at all. I have no idea what it is, where it came from, the fiber content. I have no idea. So it comes in a plate that looks normally kind of like this. Mine's a little squished and wonky. And I'm pulling from the center, and it is just like very loosely spun. So it makes it very delicate when you are just working with it individually. So you pair it with a strand of silk mohair. And I can't remember, so I'm just using white. I can't remember what the yarn is right now, but I will put it in the description box below. I don't know where the label went off of this one, but I have more. They're just hiding in a bin somewhere, so I have to find them. And I am still have not split for the sleeves, so I am just on the top here. When I came back to work on it, I realized somewhere, it's a little squished, my cable isn't long enough on my needles. So when I came back to it, I realized I had messed up somewhere on the increases, the raglan increases, and my stitch counts are off, which is not the end of the world. I can just fudge it so that it works out, and my yoke is deep enough. I probably just missed one somewhere. And on here I have a variety of, I have a row counter and then a bunch of stitch markers. So this one's a alpaca and, oh, I only had two. And this one is a yarn ball splashing in a coffee cup. Let's see if we can get that to focus. And those are from Tiffany of Twill and Print, along with the bag that this is living in. So this is one of the wax canvas bucket bags that she makes. She is a Canadian maker from Montreal, and I love her bags so much. So she screen prints the fabric herself and sews the bags. And this is her logo. And on the inside, it actually has a drawstring. So this just folds in. And it has pockets all throughout, surrounding the outside. You can't really see it because of all my stuff in there. But I do love this bag. I carry it around the house. And I think it's perfect for a sweater project. My last work in progress is in another one of Tiffany's bags from Twill and Print. This is the Mama Bear bag. It is a backpack style. The strings should be held together with a wooden bead thing like this. But my dog chewed it off, so that wasn't very nice. And on here I have a pin. It is a knitting gnome that is also from Tiffany at Twill and Print, and I'll link her shop down below. She has some gorgeous stuff, and now she is dyeing yarn as well. And this bag is great. It's huge. It has backpack straps on it, so you can convert it to being like an over-the-shoulder bag or wear it as a backpack. And I think it's great. She does a fantastic job of making these bags. And in here I have this monstrosity. And I'm pretty sure I showed this on the very first episode as something that I had been working on that was in hibernation. And this is where I was at. So I was at this marker. I only put a few rows on it. So it is a beast right now. This is a garter stitch baby blanket. It is way bigger than a standard baby blanket. And I was inspired to cast this on by Amy Florence of the Stranded Dye Works, Stranded podcast. She was doing a marled garter stitch baby blanket I think the ones she was doing were rainbow, so she was fading different rainbow colors together. Mine is more of an under the sea themed or inspired colorway situation. So it starts with this dark navy. Right now it's fading to like a light gray. And then it is going to go through blues, greens, and purples. Let's see if I can open the bag up to show you the colors. And I'm holding the same light color together throughout the whole blanket. So this is going to be for my baby. Her room is under the sea themed. So these are all the colors that are going in it. It's kind of hard to see, but you get the idea. We've got all these lovely blues and purples and teals. And these are the extras of the background color. And the yarn that I'm using for this is Hobby Rainbow 84 cotton. And I'm using a whole bunch of different colorways. It is a 100% cotton yarn. There's the information on there. So this is the one I just started. I am working it in now. It is colorway number 27. And the color that I'm holding throughout is color number 26. I'm pretty sure I will end up putting all of the colors that I used, all the colorway numbers, in my Ravelry project page, which will be linked down below. So I am currently just working on this in the evenings when I sit in bed and read. I read and knit at the same time because my hands need to be doing something always, which is why knitting is so great. So because this is easy garter stitch, I can just go and keep knit stitching over and over and over again. I don't really have to look at it. And yeah, each row takes a while because there's a lot of stitches. I think I cast on 300 or 325 stitches. So it's really wide. So it takes a while to get across a row. And on the edge, I just did a 3-stitch. See if you can see that. I did a 3-stitch I-cord. So when I go one way, I knit them, and then on the back side, I slip them with the yarn in front. So I was hoping to have that blanket done before baby comes. So I had planned it out. I was going to do a color a week, and it was going to be great. And that was the perfect number to get it done. I think I had like 1 week of wiggle room because there's 19 colors. And I started at about halfway into my pregnancy. And then that went off the rails, and I have like 10 more colors to go, and not 10 weeks. I have a month, maybe 6 weeks at the most, before she is supposed to come. So that's not gonna get finished in time, but that'll be good, like a late night nursing, knitting, and stuff like that. So I have a few stash acquisitions for this week, which is very exciting. I haven't had much in the way of stash additions, but I'm very excited about these. So this is my January 2021 Knitical Roll Yarn Club. So this is dyed by Hannah of Chromatic Yarns, and she runs a monthly yarn club inspired by Critical Role, which is a Dungeons and Dragons stream on YouTube and Twitch. And so she picks some of the best or most exciting or favorite scenes that happen during the gameplay of Critical Role, and she turns them into these beautiful colorways. So this is called Jester's Blueberry Cupcake. Jester is one of the characters, and if you don't watch it, it's not going to make much sense. And it is on her Sturdy Sock base, which is a 75% superwash blue face luster and 25% nylon. It is a 100 gram skein, which has 465 yards in it. And I've been getting them every month for a year now. This might be my 11th one because I didn't start at the beginning of 2020, I don't think. So I get one every month, and they are beautiful, and I love them all. I don't think there's one that I've disliked, and I love all the themes that she chooses for what to base it off of. So I haven't actually knit anything with any of them yet. I've just been collecting them, which is okay with me. I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing with them. I was thinking of doing a blanket, but then there's so many. I might do socks. I might mix them all up and do like a faded sweater, but I don't know. We will see. We will see. And then the other thing that I got in the mail was some spinning fiber. So if you haven't seen my previous episodes, my husband got me a vintage secondhand spinning wheel for Christmas, and she's living just over there. And so I'm learning to spin, and it has been going okay. I'm getting better, which is good. I need to practice more, but I got really excited and I really wanted some fancy fiber to try spinning. So what I did, I found someone online. I think Bethany of Woolberry Fiber Co. Shared this account on her Instagram. So I started following her. I love her colorways, and her shop is called Created by LCB. And LC is in like the name ELSIE, and it'll be tagged, or I'll link it in the description box below. I'll link her shop and her Instagram account. So this might be a little crinkly because don't want to take them out of the bags. But I got 3 braids from her. They took almost a month to come. So I was checking the tracking constantly, but I love them. So this is the first one. And the colorway is Squash Blossoms, and it is a one-of-a-kind colorway. And it is, 70% blue face luster and 30% Firestar nylon. So there is some like glittery nylon in here that I'm really excited about. So maybe I'll just pop out this end so you can kind of see it. And so you can see these little shiny bits. I am just in love. Like, I can't wait to knit that up, or to spin this up. And the colors are just gorgeous. I can't wait to start using it, but I'm gonna use up the other fiber that I have so I can get better before I try and spin up the nice stuff and ruin it. So I got that one. I also got this one, which, let's try and get rid of the glare from the window, which I am also in love with. And this is called Snapdragons. It is a Rambouillet fiber. I guess I can show you the tag. So it is a 4-ounce braid of Rambouillet. And I went with a bunch of different fiber types to try them out and see the differences between them, because I've never used, well, I've spun with, I think it's a merino that I have that I've been practicing with, but I'd like to see different fiber contents to figure out what fibers I like better for spinning and wearing, and I'd like to see the different properties of them. and things like that, because I'm really interested in different like breed specific yarns and stuff. So this is the last one that I got. There's some holes in the bag because the dog decided she was going to try and make this hers. So this one is called Deep Purple. It is a repeatable colorway, and I can't read that backwards. It is a Polworth and silk, so 80% Polworth wool and 20% cultivated silk. And you can see the difference. The fibers in this one are much longer and crinklier, that kind of makes sense, than in the Rambouillet. So I'm interested to see the difference in how they spin up. I still haven't plied or tried to ply my other spinning attempts yet. My husband is gonna make me like a stand to put my balls on so that I can try and ply off of them, so they're not flying around and the dog's not trying to eat them. But yeah, I've been just trying to spin through what I have. I haven't been doing it very often. But hopefully we'll see some more spinning progress in the next month. I think because I am recording so late, I think I'm gonna skip the next week, and I'll do another podcast the week after. So not this Friday, which is the somethingth of February. So not the 5th of February, but I'll put a new one up on the 12th of February. And yeah, other than that, I've been working hard. It's been a lot of students were failing and are no longer failing because they handed in all of their coursework at the very last minute. And last weekend, my husband and I went ice fishing. So we live just down the road from the Rideau River. It's about a 1 kilometer walk from our house to the river where we are. And so we went out ice fishing, which is difficult being super pregnant, but it was a lot of fun. We didn't catch anything. We just went out for like an hour and a half, I think. And it was beautiful, but super cold. And I think I have a clip of where we set up, so I'll put that in at the end. And other than that, I've just kind of been hanging out at home, trying not to get too tired or too burnt out. And I'm looking forward to having a few weeks off before baby comes to do all kinds of knitting and relaxing. And that's it for me. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching this episode and for coming back if you are a returning viewer, and thank you for sticking around this long if you are brand new. If you like this content, please be sure to like and subscribe so that you can see a new episode each week. And if you liked it, please feel free to give a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. I don't care. It all helps in the algorithm. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Get lots of knitting, spinning, crocheting, making of any kind done. And I will see you guys next time.